Welcome back to the Unintangibles Fantasy Football Show. We are so close to what we've all been waiting for. Week 14, the fantasy football playoffs. The hysteria has begun. A lot to discuss, some injuries, some great matchups. Let's bring in my co-host, Mo Aurora, who has a quandary at running back. Good evening, Mo.
Yes, good evening, Jeff. Hello, everybody. Good morning, actually. Happy Thursday. So here's my problem. So I am a Kareem Hunt owner who suddenly doesn't have Kareem Hunt, and so this is in my home league. It's a 16-team standard league. Points are not as easy to come by as most leagues, right? My two running backs, I have Leonard Fournette, who until he got suspended last week had been good since I got him, but now that his team has lost 3 games since then, and partly by his behavior, I don't feel as confident in Leonard Fournette as I would have 3 weeks ago when I got him. But I have him at running back. And then I do have Spencer Ware. I do also have Jalen Richard. And I have LeGarrette Blount. And maybe the answer is obvious, who of those 3 I start, but there's an argument to be made about all 3 of them. Jeff, what do you think about all 3 of them in brief? Spencer Ware, who is facing Baltimore. You have Jalen Richard, who is facing Pittsburgh. And you have LeGarrette Blount against the Cardinals.
Yeah, okay. So I think it's safe for me. I would get rid of Richard right away. I know the Raiders are likely to be trailing in this game for most of the game, whether it's close or not close. But now, I don't trust that. I don't trust that situation. John Gruden, they just signed C.J. Anderson to this today or yesterday. So Doug Martin looks like he's healthy as of Wednesday. He practiced in full. So I don't trust that. I would go with the teams that have less. I mean, look, the Chiefs did sign Charkandrick West, and he's familiar with the system, but Carry On still didn't practice. So let's take the running backs that will have a less cloudy situation. So that's the way I look at it. So now, to me, it comes down to Detroit against the Cardinals on the road.
Yeah.
That could be kind of a garbage game altogether. Both teams have been kind of crappy this year.
Mm-hmm.
That could be a sneaky little higher scoring game. I'm not sure what the total is, but the Lions could definitely find themselves on the goal line trying to get in. That for sure.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately you want to play Spencer Ware if it's between.
Okay, I think so, right?
Yeah, of course. I think so. I think they want to get Ware in a groove here. I mean, Hunt is locked for the year. I think you're guaranteed to get 15 carries at least. The Ravens are no easy out, but I think it's clearly Spencer Ware.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're probably right. Just for fun, though, can I make my arguments for the other guys?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So the argument against Spencer Ware. I'll come back to that. So the argument for Jalen Richard, which is easily the third option and the wildest argument to make, is I said it last week, Pittsburgh's reeling, and maybe playing Oakland is just what the doctor ordered, but maybe they're reeling and they're going to Oakland, and Oakland has 2 home games left this year. One is Pittsburgh and one is Denver, right? So they have a chance to play spoiler at home for the last 2 times at home. And I do think that these guys play with pride and they care about beating certain teams. I think the Raiders care, right? I think the Raiders care to beat Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is possibly there to be beat. And I think on a good or bad day for the Raiders, Jalen Richard seems to be pretty busy. And just my gut feeling says that the Raiders could beat Pittsburgh and Jalen Richard could have a surprise big day. Not worth betting on, but that's my fun argument. It's because I'm rooting for that outcome.
Yeah, and we discussed it this week in an earlier episode, how we think the Raiders may keep it a little closer than I don't know what the line is right now. I could look it up, but look, the Steelers have to reformat their offense a little bit.
Yeah.
They're going on the road. They're going across country. This could be closer than it is. I mean,
yeah. And also there's a part of me that thinks maybe sorry, Jeff?
Yeah, you said this is a standard league, so immediately to me, Richard was out of consideration.
Yeah, that's right. If it was PPR, I might not have a decision. I mean, he might be in for sure, right? But okay, and so my argument for Blunt is like you're right. This is a garbage game, and neither team is very good. There's no reason why LeGarrette Blount can't just get 3 touchdowns, right? But it's more than that. It's like LeGarrette Blount does this every year. He is Mr. December for fantasy purposes, it seems like. And it's like maybe he's figured out, maybe he's smarter than the rest of us. He's figured out how to do just enough in December to get himself his next 1-year contract, you know? Every year. And he's just like Shaq, man. He's like Shaq waiting until time to get into shape, and then, he rounds into form. Maybe like there's a part of me that just thinks that this kind of game is the kind of game that LeGarrette Blount would shine in, because LeGarrette Blount would know how to shine in this game.